These videos are going to cover the Chapter 1 practice in our textbook. There are going to be a number of these videos just to make them short so that you can concentrate, you can pause, all that good stuff in uh, YouTube. So I'm going to bring the instructions up. We'll have them like set aside here for as long as we can. So the first thing we want to do is you have to have the practice open. And then so the second instruction is to change the name or rename the various sheets. So sheet 1 is going to be called cars and sheet 2 is going to be called mileage. So I'm going to move this out of the way, make it a little easier to work with. And then, so easiest way to do that is double click the first sheet and name it cars, and double click the second sheet and name it mileage. Everything that you need to type will always be in blue. So the next thing we want to do, step 3, is to change the tabs for the worksheets to different colors. So easiest way to do that is to right click it. So cars will be purple and mileage will be red. So we'll start with mileage, we'll just right click it and choose tab color and then hover over red. And you should see the little tooltip that'll show you the color. So I'm going to make this red, and then cars, we'll right click it, tab, and we'll do purple. And you'll see what they look like when you deselect them. So there's the first 2 steps of the practice. The next one is we're going to insert a comment. As I mentioned in class, a comment is a discussion, it's a conversation. So we want to make the comment no trade-in for cell A9. So I'll click on cell A9, go to review, and we'll choose new comment. A note is a post-it note. The comment or the new comment or a comment is a discussion. Someone else could open up your spreadsheet and they could add to your discussion. So we're going to click on new comment, and then this is going to be no trade-in, and then we'll click on the little arrow. The green arrow is just going to sort of post the comment within the file itself. So we'll just do that, and then you could reply to it, so someone else could look at this and say, oh, okay, no trade-in, that makes sense. So we'll just click outside to deselect it. You can see, if I hover over it, that the comment has a little icon, or whatever cell has a comment will have a little icon. You'll see the same thing with notes. All right, so let's pull up the next one. So for step 5, in cell F6, we're going to edit the contents to read Toyota Camry. So F6 is right here. Right now it says Toyota. Easiest way is to go up to the formula bar. It's right up here under the, right above the column headings. Hit space and type in Camry. And then hit enter. Make sure I'm spelling everything right. The grading software does count spelling. Everything you're going to type, as I mentioned before, is in red. Now you'll look at these. We're going to do step 6 in a moment, but you will look at these and it looks like there's not enough room for the text. And if you were designing this spreadsheet on your own, you may decide to make the columns a little wider to make things fit better. There comes a point when, especially if you have a lot of columns, that you may want to try, especially if you have titles that could be wrapped, you may find it's easier to wrap them as opposed to make the contents of those cells wider, or those columns wider. So we're going to select a range. A range is a set of cells that can either be horizontal, they can be vertical, or they can be a combination of both. So we're going to do range C6 colon F6. Just think of that colon as being like a hyphen, C6 through F6. So I will put my cursor on above C6, hold the mouse button down, and then drag to the right. You could, if you wanted, start with Toyota Camry and drag to the left. It doesn't really matter where you start. The first cell is always left open just to let you know where you started. So word wrap is under the Home tab, so we'll click Home. And it is this icon right here, right below the View menu. So we'll click that, and that is a toggle. Oops, I'm sorry, I got the wrong one. Actually, wrap text. So we'll just click wrap text. We'll be using this one later. You can actually rotate text. So wrap text. This is a toggle. It turns on and off. Okay. So step 7 is we're going to use the fill handle to copy the down payment value in C9, and we're going to put it through F9. So we're going to click on C9, and the autofill handle is right here on the bottom. And so I'm going to hold my mouse button down on it, drag to the right, and you can see the little tooltip is telling you what it's going to do. Here it's just going to give you that same value, and then we'll let go, and you can see that that value has copied over. There's nothing wrong with just typing in 15,000, or you could have copied it. They want to use the autofill. It works best. I don't say it works best, but it's just an option. Use the options that work best for you. All right, so the next one, step 8, we want to insert 3 non-contiguous columns to the left of columns D, E, and F. These 3 columns, D, E, and F, are right now before we do any inserting. Once we start inserting, it's going to obviously change those column headings. So really what they want is they want a new column to the left of column D. So I'm going to, up there in the heading, I'm going to click column D. You can see that it selects the entire column. Go over to the cells group, and I'm just going to click insert. You do want to be careful you don't just select a cell and then tell it insert, because it will insert a cell and it will move things down or left or right depending on what options you choose. So we're going to repeat that. We want to have a blank line to the right, the left of option 3. So we'll click on F and insert. And the same thing for column H, option 4, and we're going to insert. So what they wanted you to do was really to duplicate what we saw here, or what we see here, for column B and column C. Non-contiguous means not together. So for example, if I selected Toyota Avalon and its values, and if I hold down the control key, I could select the other columns or range of cells. These are non-contiguous because there's empty cells in between them. I could do a range like that, hold the control key down and do a range like that, and so on. So these would be non-contiguous. We could then format these 3 ranges that I've drawn. Okay, next. So we've done the new non-contiguous columns. So now we're going to, on step 9, we want to change the width of columns B, D, F, and H. We want to go to 3 as our column width. So these are these blank rows. So this is where we're going to actually use that control key. So click the column B. Now hold down the control key and click column D. And with the control key still held down, click F and click H. If you click something by mistake, you clicked column I, oh, I don't want that. With the control key still held down, just click it again and it'll deselect it. So it's kind of a toggle. So we want that to be a width of 3. The easiest way to do that, I could actually come up here and I could change the width and try to get to the number. But it's a little easier if I just go to Format and choose column width, that 3rd one down, and then just type in 3 and then click OK. And then to deselect these, you don't really want to have things selected. You're just going to click our mouse button. And I will stop this video and we will continue with step 10 in the second part. I want to keep these kind of short so you can just get little bursts and then continue on. So I'm going to stop this video.